Hey up YouTube. Back down on the plot today, nice and early, trying to make the most of what little sunlight we actually get at this time of year. Just think we're only what, 3-4 weeks away from the shortest day, so happy days, eh? Today I found I wasn't going to plant any of this year. This is elephant garlic. But I found it's one that hasn't been eaten. It was just down the back of the greenhouse. Haven't looked after it or anything. It's just been sat there. So we're going to plant that out. I'm going to find a home for that, because it's pointless not growing it if I've got it. What else are we going to do today? We've got some planting up to do in the polytunnel. Remember, we're trying to do this sort of have something growing all year. It's good for the soil. It's good for the soul. It's good for you. It's good, you know, all things considered. I've got a couple of jobs I want to get done. I've got a new trailer, so I want to build a little sort of carport or trailer port, if you will, to put that under, and some way of securing it under there, which I probably won't film because obviously I don't want people seeing how I've secured it, but it's going to be something. I'm going to set something that I can chain it to, basically. So yeah, without let's just get on. Let's just get out there. Let me just quickly ask. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, do that on YouTube, and don't forget to, if you want to talk to me, comments down below on YouTube, not on Facebook. I don't get much time to go on Facebook, whereas all the notifications come through to me if you comment on my videos on YouTube. Time to upset the chickens. They're enjoying being on this this freshly prepared bed. I tell you what, let's get the same fact out of the way that every other YouTuber tells you, because I do think it's pretty cool. Only other gardeners will appreciate this fact. You know, when you start showing people your elephant garlic that you've grown next year, don't bother telling them, because they'll go, oh yeah, fucking weirdo. You know, in their own head. You know, looks like garlic, tastes like garlic, it's garlic. Well, in actual fact, elephant garlic isn't garlic. It's more closely related to leeks. Chickens have just made a lovely mess of this bed. Give me a sec. I'm going to give it a quick rake. It's off the rake we go. So anyway, when it comes to your elephant garlic, treat it like any other garlic. Don't open up these cloves, these bulbs. Don't split them open any more than 24 hours before you're ready to plant. It starts to become less and less viable. I was just going to push these in, but in actual fact I'm finding the soil to be quite tough, because your elephant garlic needs to go at least as deep as the bulb and half again. You need a good 6 to 8 inches between each bulb. It does grow quite big. It will probably, actually, the tops of the plants will probably reach the top of this cover. And that's it. Elephant garlic, planting it really is as simple as that. I'll grab this marker from down here. I don't know what it says on it, but we'll use it to mark that there's a row of garlic in there. Once it's up, you'll kind of notice that it's there anyway. But that's it. Elephant garlic, as simple as that now. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to upset the chickens and tell them that they can't scratch around on here. Right, ladies and gentlemen. I would just like to grab your attention, just away from the gardening, just for a minute, just to talk to you about something. Two things. First of all, there's a couple of charity links down in the description below. One is mine for Cancer Research UK. The money goes directly to them. The other one is a crowdfunding for a gentleman who helped out a very good friend of mine. It was heavily involved in the amateur racing scene for a lot of years and helped out a lot of people. He was well known as being a go-to guy if you needed some help. There's a bit of a fundraiser going on for him, so the links for those are in the description below. Third thing, or final thing, I'd like to grab your attention away from gardening for is our good friends over at Growseed.co.uk. Link down here and in the description below. Are giving away, with every purchase of a Chilli Seed Kit, an opportunity to win an Xbox Series S. I will double confirm that with some text along here, because I'm not sure whether it's an X or an S. But on top of that, going back to charities, £4 from every purchase of a Chilli Seed Kit will be going to a local food bank. In these trying times, I think that is an amazing gesture from Growseed. So please pop along, check them out. So links in the description to both those charities and to the Chilli Seed Kit from growseed.co.uk. So let's get back to the garden. Right. Here we have a couple of my established blackcurrants. These have been in 2 years. They initially were cut right back in their first year to about 5 centimetres. When I first planted them, they were cut back to about 5 centimetres tall, as per the advice in allotment month by month. And it says to leave them for 2 years. Now that's pretty much exactly what's happened with these. So they've been left for 2 years. One's a lot bigger than the other. They are going to get moved in spring, however. They're not staying here. But I am going to give them a trim. Now what you're looking for is any dead or diseased wood, and you want to be taking off the darker wood, so the older wood. The younger wood on blackcurrants yields much better results, much better fruit, generally speaking. You want to try and keep an open structure. What that will do is it will increase the airflow inside the plant. As always when pruning, always cut at an angle. It stops water from being able to pool on the fresh cut. Yeah, we'll run a risk. So I'll take this one and I'll leave that newer shoot on. So to show you guys as best I can, you see hopefully the two different tones of the wood there. This is greener, it's newer, it's soft and supple. This is a lot stiffer and brown. Plenty of growth left on it, and I could have left it. But what had happened is, further down the shoot, just below where this cut point was, there was a fresh new shoot that was sort of this sort of colour. So I thought, we'll leave that one to grow on, we'll take that one off, because the theory is that this will yield better fruit. Now your other thing that you want to do really, because you don't want them growing out of control, and I'll sort of time lapse this. The book says to also take it back by about 25% overall. So after you've sort of looked for any dead, disease, dying, crossing branches, then you also want to take about 25% of the overall growth off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to time lapse it, and I'm going to take off some of these tops, hopefully encouraging it to bush. But also I'm going to look for anything that could grow into a cross, like you and you. And don't forget all these cuttings, just to mention my old video, or my video from a couple of weeks ago, don't forget all these old cuttings you can take and you can grow them on to form new plants. So I'll go through this, I'll time lapse it, and then we'll have a look at the red currants, black and gooseberries, because they're very different, although I don't think my gooseberries need doing. But we'll have a look. Hey guys, just a quick interjection. I just want to say, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out. It's an amazing boost to me, to help me to continue producing videos for you guys. Don't forget, I always try and respond to comments on YouTube below. I generally don't get on Facebook that often, whereas YouTube notifies me every time somebody says something on one of the videos. So please get involved. Let's build this community that I've been building for actually for over a year now. So let's get back to the gardening out there. Red currants, once again, as with the black currants, these guys are going to get moved into a new location in spring. But for now, they need a prune. You see, it's quite a mess, is this. It has been left to establish for too long. And it's taken a bit of a beating. There's some broken branches that want to come off. There's a lot of crossing branches and things like that. So we'll get on with this. Sort of tidy it up first, and then we'll have a look at what we need to prune off it. As with the black currants, don't forget these cuttings can be propagated. I'm not going to bother. I only grow red currants really for the pectin, sort of as an addition to jam instead of citric acid and pectin. But give me a minute and we'll come back to it. There's not a great deal left on this now, actually. It's not a bad shape. So I'm going to have a look at the other one. Which actually the other two aren't in bad shape, but we'll have a look at them and have a look and see whether we want to take any more wood off them and discuss that further. Right, so all the other bushes were in the same boat with regards to how they need pruning, so rather than set up a new camera angle, we'll just keep going with this one. Now, you see I took out any dead, diseased wood. The next thing you want to do with these, similar to the black currants, but you're a bit more savage with your red currants, is you want to take up to 50% of the new growth. So we're going to be quite savage, and it's that quick. I mean, winter pruning really is a very, very quick process. So I've got sort of 2 more bushes to do. The gooseberry down here I've had a look at. Doesn't really need touching. In fact, I'd say I just want to take it out, but I've got no pots big enough at the moment to put it in for it to be suitable. So I'm going to get on with the other red currants, and then I'll come back to you and we're going to have a look at my apple trees. Apple trees, now for some reason they just make sense to me, and I don't know why. I was quite lucky with this when I was gifted it, and it was a really good shape. However, it's not without a few issues that I can see. Now this is a spur-bearing apple tree, which means if I come around that side, I'll try and show you. See this? So you've got your main shoot or your main branch, and you've got a spur coming off it. You can always tell spurs in my eyes because they're wrinkly. Whereas a new growth of branch, which eventually I think that will turn into, is smooth. So once again, if I point you sort of down there a little bit, you can see this branch here comes up to here. That was a spur and is now growing another branch. I can see down here as a branch that, although it may well have healed, it's also, if the camera can see this, but it's in the way. Now I don't have a pruning saw to take this branch off, and I am very tempted next year to take this limb off completely. Let me know in the comments below what you think, but I think this limb should come off and I should just keep this limb here. So I'm going to go through this and I'm going to look for anything that's crossing other branches, trying to find an example that you might be able to see on camera. This was in a really good shape last year, so I may not have much to take off it, and my other one is still really small. So the shape I'm looking for this, overall, I've just identified a branch that's going to cross. I'll take you off. You're growing out through the middle of some other branches, which is then going to cause a cross. The reason I believe that you want to take the cross branches out is it will reduce your airflow, which leads me on to what I was just about to say, which is with regards to the overall shape you want to be looking for. Now, if you ignore this branch, and I will try and put a graphic on the screen, but you can see an open goblet. So sort of a wine glass shape, where your trunk or your central leader is the stem, and then all these branches form your bowl of the glass, or goblet as they call it. Well, that's the sweet peas, the fruit bushes, the fruit trees. I've also done a little bit of planting, but it's the same stuff you've seen me done a million times. The garlic, I've planted some onion seedlings out. But just bear in mind, you're actually not too late. If you see onion seedlings in the garden centres on sale, they're fine. If you see sets, you're still not too late to put your sets out. You're still not too late to put your garlic out. Don't forget. In my opinion, you've actually got until the winter solstice, which I think is around about the 23rd of December. But it depends sort of on your local area, really. Just bear that in mind. If the ground is frozen solid, you don't want to be planting in it. So if you know that by December your ground is frozen solid, you want to be getting them in. But don't pass up the opportunity. If you see some seedlings, you're too late to sow seeds now for growing outside if you've got lights and things like that, like the spider farmer, which I'll be showing in upcoming videos again soon, because I'll be starting my chilies and my showmaster onions and things like that. That's a little bit of fun. I'll be starting them off at home in the coming, where are we, mid-November, in about 2 weeks. So there'll be regular updates on those through December and into the new year. And I'll be growing those in a tent at home under a Spider Farmer light. It's going to be great to see the progress versus the cheap Amazon LED lights that I have been using in past years. What else have we done today? So I've done some planting, we've done some pruning, we've done some tidying up down the plot. I will be doing a plot tour towards the end of the month. There's a few more jobs I want to get done before I do a walk around. There's a couple of raised beds I want to move and things like that. I haven't built the carport today because I decided to wait till I could do some nice cuts as opposed to trying to hack through 4x4 with a handsaw. I decided I'll hang on and I'll do that when I can remember to bring down the chop saw or the miter saw. And I think that's it. I do think that's it. So you new allotment growers, don't forget, keep up with the prep work. Do a little, do it often. Digging your ground, prepping your beds. If you've prepped something, don't forget to then cover it with your chosen medium. I'm going for largely cardboard this year, just because I've got it. Don't be put off by all the people on YouTube saying, please don't use plastic, rah, rah, rah. I don't disagree with them, but at the end of the day, if you're going to use plastic and you buy a decent one that you're going to use year on year, I personally don't see the harm. It's very controversial, but same goes with carpet. I appreciate a lot of people say it can leach toxins into your soil. I'm not getting involved in that debate. It's something that sort of Tony's covered over on, it used to be called UK Here We Grow, Simplify Garden. He's covered it. I'm not going to weigh in. I don't use carpet on my allotment, primarily actually because I haven't got any. But if it's what you've got, use it. Aim to replace it and dispose of things responsibly, but if it's what you've got, use it. Cover anything that you're not growing in. Soil should not be left completely open and barren, otherwise the soil life tends to degrade and things like that. So in covering soil, yes, you're encouraging slugs and things like that. All I do when I cover with plastic is I take the plastic off, all the slug eggs are there, you walk off your plot for a few hours, or in my case, I let the chickens out. The birds will make short work of those slug eggs. So just uncover, leave them open for the wildlife to come and eat. You're feeding the birds, you're keeping your pests down. But in covering, what you are doing is encouraging other ecology like the bacterias and things like that, the fungal, mycorrhizal highways, pathways, all the fungal growth, all the worms, all like things like that would much rather the ground be covered than left open. Otherwise they'll just go down and down or move on to somewhere else. But that's the best thing I can say for new allotment growers at this time of year. If you're not putting anything in the ground, prep your ground and cover it. If you leave it open, it will A, if we have a really mild winter, cover in weeds. B, it will start to lose nutrients. The nutrients will wash out and the ecology will go. Oh, that's quite a waffle. I'm going to, over winter, attempt to reignite the new allotment growers guides that I tried to do last year. They became a bit preachy with me sitting in the living room at home when I was injured. I'm going to try and chop some things together and get some videos out on the new allotment growers guides. Don't know how well that's going to happen, but I'm going to try. So for newer growers and experienced growers, please, please, please do subscribe. Don't click off. I'm a new YouTuber. No, I'm not. Although I am. I'm a new grower. And I always welcome criticism constructively. So don't forget, talk to me in the comments below. Don't forget, head on over to growseed.co.uk. Check out those chili seed growing kits. If you're wanting to grow chilies, and if you've got access to decent south-facing windowsills or lights, next month really is when people start sowing them. So bear that in mind. And these chili seed kits come with everything you need, including, I believe, the compost to grow them in. You can't say fairer than that. So head down to the description. There's the charity links. There's the link to growseed.co.uk. There's the discount code for 5% off your basket total from growseed.co.uk. That's also in the description. It's also, I'll try and remember to put it on screen. Don't forget, like, share and subscribe. God, there's so much to remember on the back end of this video. I think that's everything. So without further ado, I'll see you next week.